by way of introduction, this first poem I wrote for my husband Kirk. It's called Stargazing. The world isn't flat, and neither am I. I'm round like the other heavenly bodies, and I spiral down to a core of pure light and love, the source of my gravitation, that mutual attraction between you and me in close proximity. We orbit each other, spinning through nebulous clouds of dust and space and light, discovering the birthplace of stars and souls. And bathed in the crimson dawn of a red sun, we awaken to Earthrise, blue-green spheres shining through the black veil of space, and unfurling our wings, we glide on solar winds, sailing home again. This next poem is a poem of celebration. It's called We Are Woman. I will rejoice for being born woman, for though within each blessing lives a dark cloud curse, I will cling to this silver lining and celebrate who I am, who we are as women. I am tied to the tides. I swoon with the moon, and my body counts off the days of her cycle as her phases number mine. We are sisters, she and I, daughters of the same father, twins of the same womb, and we both shine, reflecting the light of the sun. I am the entrance into this world. No one arrives here but through my blood, and seldom departs without my tears. Love is language, and I am multilingual. My tongue caresses the ear of every man, woman, and child as my compassion becomes voice, becomes action. I am your mother, daughter, sister, wife, and I am life, love made flesh and tenderness made tangible. We are all around you, mysterious and real, sacred and ordinary, and we are wonderful. We are woman. This is a poem called Plain. How we celebrate the butterfly in poem and song, metamorphosis, caterpillar magically transformed, a metaphor for being reborn. But never do we glorify the housefly in story and verse. The transition the same, no better, no worse, but we reverse, and would rather curse the process, maggot carrion nursed. But just because wings aren't always big, bright, colorful things, and may instead be short, stubby, unimpressive utilities, and just because we don't all survive the changes of life's stages, beautiful and unscarred, unscathed and unmarred, perfectly preserved, still, we take these wings, these soiled, ugly things, test the air, and fly. Pause. I'm going to read this next poem. The first line of the poem was a writing prompt given to me by Alabama poet Barry Marks. The title is Night Does Not Fall. Night does not fall. It rises from the catfish depths of dark running Dixie rivers, rises from the crouching shadows hidden beneath southern pines waiting for their proper time, rises from asphalt black city streets flowing with Southside jazz and urban rhythms, rises from the quicksilver surfaces of oak-bound lakes, cool and full of bass promises, rises from the soft loam earth, smelling of spices, sustenance, and the toil of hands, rises from the iron ore mountains, their tanned, brawny backs turned on sultry setting sun, rises from wildflower sweet meadows, with song of whippoorwill, blink of firefly, and scent of honeysuckle, rises from the salt-swirled waves, devouring crystalline beaches in high-tide buffets, rises from the shady sides of downtown silhouettes, stretching daylight's last reflection, snapping back neon replies, rises from the whisper of skirts, swaying on hips, lush with humidity and feminine grace, rises from the somber clouds of a stormy past, electric with the enlightened hope of a brighter future, sleeping in far dreaming hearts and minds, and I rise to meet it. Don't you? Haiku. Weed in the sidewalk. Doesn't know it can't grow there. Flowers anyway. Haiku. Tempestuous boy tosses and scatters his toys. Category 5. Non-traditional Americanized haiku. Boy, man, knife, wallet. Man replies, take my coat too, son, it's cold tonight. And for my last piece, in the tradition of poets writing poetry about poets and poetry, this is called Beautifully Broken. They call us poets, damaged, imperfect vessels filled with damaged, perfect intentions, and so many holes, poetry is forced to seep out. We are the walking wounded, living proof that if you just keep putting one foot in front of the other, you keep moving forward. But we are so much more than that. We are all beautifully broken. See how the light splinters into rainbows as it passes through the cracks. We're all soiled, dirtied by our own hands or by those of others. But what exquisite spectral artwork is created from stained glass. We are geodes whose glittering crystalline caverns were not revealed until we were cut. We are wheelchair dancers rejoicing in the complexities of circles. We are garbage, refuse, left on the curb as trash, reassembling ourselves into sculptures. We are the scar of the organ donor, evidence that something living was given from one person unto another. We are the infant, miraculously found alive, a survivor amidst the rubble of war. We are a tangled thicket of thorny weeds that have learned to be flowers. We are surgeons performing open-heart procedures on ourselves using pens as scalpels, trying to repair torn tissue using lines of poetry as suture, and we all have our anesthetic of choice. We have ink in our veins. It only spills onto these pages and stages when we bleed in some way. We are multisyllabic words pronounced by a 2-year-old child who has no idea of the meaning, just loves the way they feel in the mouth, the musical sound. We are sand dollars, open to let the doves out. We are explosions on the horizon from which you cannot avert your eyes, though you know something's been destroyed there. But oh, how brilliantly we blaze against the backdrop of night. We are a broken-winged bird rediscovering the sky. We are big bangs in which universes collapse and are recreated, and we all have someone's boot prints in the cosmic dust of our past. We are shooting stars, meteors whose sparking arcs mark their own demise. We are a swan dive suicide, so graceful in our self-destruction we almost make it look like flying. We are a long, lonely note on a blues guitar, stumbling drunk out of a smoky bar. We are train wrecks, natural disasters, acts of terrorism that might just cause people to stop and come together for a second. We are the grass that grows through the sidewalk cracks. We exist, we persist, and we will not let our off-key symphonies go unnoticed. I have bathed in the words of poet prophets, the luminous liquid dripping from their lips and seeping into my pores until I am translucent. I have seen them dancing around the bonfires they ignite on stage, lost in their own rhythms, earthbound angels drawing hieroglyphs with the motion of their hips, until we all glisten with the listening, sacred symbols in our sweat. Yes, they call us poets, but it might be more appropriate just to call us poetry.